So good evening everyone. This is the fourth lecture of electrostatics. In this lecture, we will solve some good questions of HCV as well as we will discuss about Coulomb's law. So first question I have taken from NCERT on the basis of which you can solve the question of HCV question number 9. HCV question number 9 you can solve with the help of this question. So after this video you should try. The chapter is electric field and potential, page number 121 and question number 9 of HCB, just same as this question which I am taking. This question is taken from NCERT. So guys, in this question is given how much positive and negative charge is there in a cup of water. So this is the only question written in NCERT, but usually we can assume that a cup of water contains 250 gram of water. A cup of water has 250 gram of water approximately. So first of all, what we have to do, we have to convert this 250 gram into number of moles, and you all know that what is number of moles. Number of moles is equal to weight divided by molecular weight or mass divided by molecular mass. So I have written just mass is 250 and molecular mass, this is actually 18 gram. Molecular mass expressed in grams, so into 10 to power minus 3 and into 10 to power minus 3, they will cancel out each other. So I have not written that. Number of moles, directly you can write 250 divided by 8, weight divided by molecular weight. Number of molecules, you know that in a mole there are 6.022 into 10 to power 23 molecules. So in this mole, how many molecules? We have to multiply this number by Avogadro number. This is Avogadro number. So when you have to calculate number of molecules, so multiply number of moles by Avogadro number. So number of moles we have multiplied with Avogadro number. So whatever the value we get, that is the number of molecules present in 250 gram of water. So number of molecules present in 250 gram of water is 250 by 18 into 6.022 into 10 to the power 23. Each molecule of water contains, actually you know the formula of water is H2O. So each molecule contains 2 molecules of hydrogen and 1 molecule of oxygen. That means if we are taking number of electrons, so number of electron is actually 2 plus 8, so 10. So 10 electron and 10 protons also, no? Because usually water is neutral, so how many number of electrons and there are same number of protons. So positive and negative charges if you have to calculate. So first number of molecules, this we have written number of molecules into number of electrons or number of protons, which is the same, into 10, and each electron or proton having charge 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. So we have multiplied this number by 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. So this will be give the value 1.34 into 10 to the power 7 coulomb. Now guys, the question which I am discussing, that the question of HCV. In the question HCV they have asked, estimate the number of electrons in 100 gram of water, 100 gram of water, and how many total negative charges is present there. You have to calculate. So guys, in place of this 250 you will replace by 100, same divide by 18, you will calculate number of molecules just multiplying by Avogadro number, and then number of electrons and charge on electron you can calculate. So those who are very serious and watching this video, they can write me in comment box answer of question number 9 of HCV. Okay, so question number of HCV, question number 9, electric field and potential, you can try after this. Now guys, actually we will start Coulomb's law today. So Coulomb's law basically gives you a force between 2 point charges. Coulomb's law is valid for point charges only, but sometimes we writing for Coulomb's law for some distributed charges, because we can assume that whole charge is concentrated about its center of mass. So basically Coulomb's law is valid for point charges. So it states that force between 2 point charges is directly proportional to product of their charges and inversely proportional to square of distances between them. This second portion, which is inverse square law, basically this second portion I can say that this is nothing but inverse square law. This inverse square law is followed by Newton's law of gravitation, also this electrostatic Coulomb's force also inverse square law, And what are the role played by mass there, guys? M1 and M2 in gravitation, same role played by charges here. And that is why I have discussed earlier, mass and charge is intrinsic property. So this Q1 and Q2 distance between them is R. So I can write force is proportional to product of the charge. I have just combined these two equations. So force is proportional to Q1 Q2 divided by R square. This proportionality constant is K, which I have taken 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. This value is known as epsilon naught is known as permittivity of free space, and the entire value 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught is 9 into 10 to the power 9. But when you read the topic capacitor, you have to calculate epsilon naught value, which is 8.85 into 10 raised to the power minus 12, which you can calculate also from here. So epsilon naught value you should also remember, because in capacitor topic you write A epsilon naught by D. So directly you require this value epsilon naught. So you can calculate epsilon naught value from here only. So F is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 divided by R square. But guys, one thing you have to keep in mind, in case of any other medium, suppose you have taken these charges into water other than air or vacuum. So what will happen? Epsilon can be written as epsilon naught into epsilon R. This epsilon R is relative permittivity of the medium. Like suppose water permittivity, if they have given, so this you have to multiply by this epsilon R to get the force. That's why. And when this charges is kept into another medium, force is actually depending upon the relative permittivity. So what is the difference between this electrostatic force and gravitational force? Gravitational force is independent from any medium, but it depends upon the medium. So this you have to keep in mind. It depends upon the medium, and gravitational force is independent from any other medium. Now guys, this is a scalar form of Coulomb's law. And one more question of HCV, which is actually first question of HCV. What is the dimension of epsilon naught? So I have calculated this. How I have calculated, guys? I'm just giving you a hint. You should try it at home. So actually F can be written as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 divided by R square. So take this epsilon naught there. Epsilon naught is equal to 1 by 4 pi F Q1 Q2 divided by R square. You know that force dimension is mlt minus 2, and this dimension of length is L square, and charge is I square T square. So what will happen, guys? M will go above M minus 1, which I have written here. L3 will go above, become L minus 3, and this T4, because minus 2 and plus 2, T4 and I2. So that's why dimension I have written M minus 1, L minus 3, T4, I2. This is the dimension of epsilon. This is the first question of HCV. So guys, rest of the question you can try, like question number 2, question number 3, question number 4. All the question you should try up to question number 10. So today we are going to stop here only. Tomorrow we will see Coulomb's law in vector form. So thank you everyone.